Hello everyone, welcome back to Hiya Max. I am very excited to have you today. My name is Maxine Mchinguzi, and before we continue on, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be posting videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, and my channel is centered around advice, reviews, life, everything in between. Today I will be showing my second installment of Black Girls Cry 2, which is a way to combat this image that black women are strong, which we are, but you know, we don't deserve all the hate that we get on these streets. So let's get into this video. So first things first, if you haven't seen my tweet or look at the title of this video, we will be talking about colorism. I posted on my story asking people to send in some questions that they may have or thoughts. I wanted to see some preconceived notions about colorism as a dark-skinned black woman. I know a thing or 500 about colorism, and so I'm excited to share with y'all today so that I can help you either grow or for other people who just have been through the same kind of things. The way that this video is going to go is I'm going to go through the definition, origins of colorism, and then I'm going to go into my personal story in the sense of how it's affected me in my daily life kind of thing, because I'm trying to be vulnerable, as I told you. So what is colorism? It's typically misconstrued, and I don't think it's that complex. If you understand racism, you can understand colorism. And practically the definition for colorism is, you can see on your screen, it is the prejudice or discrimination against individuals with darker skin, typically among the same ethnic group. Even though I could argue, I don't think it's just amongst the same ethnic group. Another aspect of colorism is texturism, which has to do with types of hair and what is considered good hair versus bad hair. 4C, curl pattern, in comparison to having 3C, curly hair, which even if we even start to get into the natural hair movements, we will be stressed. A disclaimer for this video: dark-skinned women are not better. Everything I'm telling you is things I have experienced firsthand or I have done my research. So if you don't agree, fight with someone else, not me. Thanks. And then something that again I learned from The Darkest Hue, which I will put a link to their Instagram graphic in the description box below, is futurism, which I had known about this, but I hadn't really thought about it much. And futurism practically is preference for more Eurocentric features, right? And that's like discrimination for people who have Afrocentric features, which tends to be wider set nose or larger lips. And you know, these things, as a child, people used to make fun of the size of my lips. So you can ask my mom. Until I was 18, I literally was convinced I was going to go get a lip reduction, which is the funniest thing, because starting 2016 or something, all of a sudden everyone was into big lips, and my mom was making fun of me because she was like, I told you, one day you're going to regret that you've been saying all of those things your whole life. So shout out to my mom, because I literally begged my mom to reduce my lip size, and now your girl is fine, now your girl is proud of them. But to be honest, as a kid, it was not the easiest thing to go through. So yes, break it down. For where we are right now, colorism, discrimination of people of darker skin tones within the same racial group. But this discrimination can also take place with people outside of that racial group, which is, for example, AC's coming on, don't mind the noise. So that's, for example, would be a non-black person who sees me and my lighter skinned friend and then feels like my lighter skinned friend is less of a threat or a more likely candidate to choose for dating or employment, or you know what I mean. There's just a lot of layers to this thing, and that's why I usually get very upset, because people don't really understand how ingrained colorism is in our society. It's all about proximity to whiteness, period. Like that's it, because it's literally creating hierarchies between interracial groups to say, oh, you look closer to this Eurocentric ideal, which means you're better than, and that opens a whole other can of worms. And a lot of people haven't dealt with their internalized racism, internalized colorism, and thus we have issues within communities of color being problematic. being problematic, championing lighter skin, championing European features. And you know, on one hand, I'm very empathetic because there's so much programming that happens since you're a kid. The things that you watch, the things you see on TV, like on billboards, the books you read, the way characters are described, you know, especially if they don't look like you have this preconceived notion to want to look or be like those people. I was an example of that, but we're going to get to that later. Someone was asking me about the origin of colorism when I put it up on my story. And I've heard so many different opinions about the origin of colorism. Some people say it happened during slavery. Some people say that it has its roots in slavery because darker skinned black people would be out in the field, whereas lighter skinned black people would be working in the house. Some people say it created, obviously, that darker skinned individuals can take more. Interestingly enough, when I was doing some research, there were some references about colorism in the Asian dynastic era. So I think this is when there was still dynasties in Asia. That's from what when I was doing some research. There was evidence of skin whitening, and a lot of their deities were portrayed as lighter skinned. So what this shows me is that this notion of lighter groups are better than goes hundreds, thousands of years. From what I can see is colorism, and I previously did not know this. I thought this was mainly something that was due to colonialism, but I'm guessing it goes further than that. So let's talk about the fact that even though it's the origins of colorism is hundreds of years ago, the skin bleaching industry by 2027 is projected to be worth about 27 billion US dollars. That is frightening. And I have to make this very clear right now. I do not shame anybody for skin bleaching. I empathize because you have to understand what is the societal messages going around that would make someone feel the need to lighten their skin. Those are the questions we have to ask ourselves, right? These things don't just happen. It's like the same thing with texturism or featureism. Why do people feel the need to do surgery to get, you know, thinner noses? And I'm talking about within communities of color, because as we have all seen, certain features when seen on Eurocentric bodies are more accepted, unfortunately. We just have to start asking ourselves those types of questions. Why is it that when I was younger, I wanted straight hair, I wanted long flowy hair, I felt not embarrassed, but I wasn't proud about having 4C hair. As far as I was concerned, it wasn't good hair, it wasn't beautiful hair, which is obviously I had to take time within myself to unlearn. There's so much unlearning that takes place. We unlearn a lot of the values that society puts in place. It is hard work. I'm still working every single day. I'm proud of my skin, I'm proud of the way that I look, I'm proud of my hair, but best to believe it's an every single day struggle, because even with that, there's still the same types of messaging still taking place that unfortunately you, referencing myself, or darker skinned individuals, and in particularly darker skinned women, there is this notion that you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough unless you do A, B, C, D, and even then, you're still not good enough. Darker skinned individuals were blessed with protection against the sun, like legitimate built-in sunscreen. But because of all this messaging, we don't even have time to appreciate the fact that we are safe for the most part from a lot of the things the sun likes to do to people. It's just so crazy how things are framed, to us, and how unfair that is. Colorism is systemic, okay, in the way that it works. And it's hard because I've had a lot of interactions with lighter skinned individuals where they either don't believe it or want to change the focus of the conversation. At the end of the day, we have to be very honest as a community. I can only speak for the Black community. I don't know what necessarily, and also the Black community is not a monolith, but I can speak for the community that I'm in mostly. I am aware how prevalent colorism is in Asian communities and other communities of color. There's this need to gaslight, especially gaslight dark-skinned black women into keeping quiet about the realities of colorism and making it seem as if we are crazy and jealous and horrible people. And there was an interesting episode on The Grapevine, which I'll also put in my description box, about ways that even on Wild and Out, how this darker-skinned woman, she wouldn't be given airtime because of the fact she didn't look exotic. And what does that mean? What does that mean? It means you don't have that light skin features. You do not have light eyes. You do not have 3C curly hair that flows through the wind. Like this is all very important messaging to keep in mind. You know, a lot of people who are darker skinned are punished harsher within the criminal justice system. These things are available, by the way. You can Google this and find out this information. A lot of the times kept out of getting certain jobs. Dating wise, the drama to be a dark-skinned woman and dating, because yeah, we'll get to that. This is why it's always important for you yourself to question your implicit bias and why you think the things you do about the people that you meet, right? Why you have certain preconceived notions. And yes, I know someone's going to talk about it and say, oh, but light-skinned men are seen as soft or whatever, which I really have to bear in mind that they are also seen as less threatening to other groups. And just through that is a privilege, right? And they're able to navigate certain rooms and certain spaces much easier than their darker skinned counterparts. And that's just the reality of it. In the same hand, because darker skinned women are defeminized, we are seen as aggressive and moody and angry, a lot of random things, which is dumb again, because remember, at the end of the day, you cannot tie personality traits to a skin tone. It's just so ridiculous to me, a lot of the things that I've experienced and seen, and I'm like, I have to be in the twilight zone, because there's no way that you're trying to just make a judgment on me based on the color of my skin, which I'm proud of. At this point, I used to be ashamed of my skin, I can't even be that. So what I want to conclude from this section of my talk about colorism, it affects job opportunities, it affects spaces that you are in, it affects the way that people place you within society, it affects the opportunities that you are given. Thank you very much. Just want you to know that I make that very clear. Okay, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So this is the end of part 1. If it ended abruptly, it's because I've just been filming and it's now about to be 30 minutes and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So I'm going to cut this video into 2 parts, and I will be uploading a video on Friday. This is probably going to be a review of some sort on just like basic life stuff. I would implore you to expect Girls Cry 2 content every Tuesday, and I'm very excited to continue the series with you all. Yes. So don't forget to follow the socials and everything, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye. Please, if I have to hear about being called a piece of chocolate again, like I'm sick. Find a different compliment, find a different thing to compare my skin tone to. Chocolate, please. I'm sick of the cocoa beans, sick of it.